In the previous class, we have completed the various aspects of male reproductive system. In this class, we are going to see about female reproductive system, chapter 2, part 3, human reproduction. First, let us see the functions of female reproductive system. The primary function of the female reproductive system is to produce gametes, namely ova. Secondly, it produces hormones, namely estrogen and progesterone. Suppose if there is fertilization, the glands present at the wall of the uterus secretes a nutritive fluid called uterine milk to nourish the developing embryo till implantation. The female reproductive system is located in the pelvis region. You already know the parts of female reproductive system, right? A pair of ovaries, a pair of oviducts or fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, vagina and external genitalia. Now we are going to see these parts one by one in detail. Ovaries. As they produce ova, they are said to be the primary sex organ in females. They are located on either side of the lower abdomen and elliptical in shape, having the length of 2 to 4 cm. The outer surface of the ovary is covered by a cuboidal germinal epithelium that produces ova. The inner part of the ovary consists of a network-like supportive tissue called ovarian stroma, which consists of connective tissues and blood vessels in which the follicles of various stages are embedded. The structure of the ovary. We already know what is germinal epithelium. Located below or inside the germinal epithelium, there is a dense connective tissue called tunica albuginea. Ovaries has connection with both the pelvic wall and the uterus. It is connected with the pelvic wall by means of a suspensory ligaments and with the uterus by a broad ovarian ligament called mesovarium. If you take the stroma of the ovary, it is divided into two parts. Outer part of the stroma is called cortex and the inner part is called medulla. In the cortex region, you can see ovarian follicles in various stages of development. Due to the presence of follicles, cortex looks granular in appearance, and the medulla part is made up of loose connective tissues and consists of abundant blood vessels, lymphatic vessels and nerve fibers. The next important part of the female reproductive system are the fallopian tubes. They are tubular structures that connects the ovary with the uterus. It consists of the following parts: infundibulum, ampulla and isthmus. The proximal part, that is the first part of the fallopian tube, is the infundibulum. It is a funnel-shaped structure, consists of number of finger-shaped projections called fimbriae that helps in the collection of ovum after ovulation. Infundibulum is followed by the next part called ampulla. It is the wider central portion of the fallopian tube in which fertilization of gametes takes place. Ampulla is followed by a short last part called isthmus. It only connects the infundibulum with the uterus and also acts as a reservoir of sperm in the female reproductive tract. Uterus is the another important part of the female reproductive system. If you take the structure of the uterus, it is a hollow, thick-walled, muscular, vascularized, inverted pear-shaped structure located in the pelvic cavity between the urinary bladder and the rectum. The various parts of the uterus are the body, fundus, cervix and vagina. Body is the largest portion of the uterus and this only nourishes the fertilized egg and keeps the fetus until delivery. Fundus is the rounded part present at the top of the body. Usually, the height of the fundus is measured during pregnancy from the pubic bone to the uterus. If there is any change in the height of the fundus, it indicates abnormality in pregnancy. Cervix is the opening or mouth of the uterus which connects the vagina and the uterus. It allows flow of menstrual blood from the uterus into the vagina and also direct the sperms into the uterus during intercourse. Vagina is the larger fibromuscular tube that extends from the cervix to the exterior. The wall of the uterus is formed of 3 layers. The outer layer is thick and membranous called perimetrium that secretes a watery fluid to lubricate the uterus from friction. The middle layer is thick and muscular called myometrium that shows strong contraction during childbirth. And the innermost layer is glandular called endometrium that undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. External genitalia are the accessory structures of the female reproductive system present outside the vagina. They are labia majora, labia minora, hymen and clitoris. The external opening of the vagina is partially closed by a thin ring of tissue called hymen. As a torn during first coitus, it is considered as the indicator of women's virginity. But it is not so because in certain women, this will turn due to sudden fall physical activities such as cycling, riding, etc. Now we can see the various glands associated with the female reproductive system. They are Bartholin's gland, Skene's gland, and mammary gland. If we take the Bartholin's gland, it is located posterior to the left and right opening of the vagina and secretes mucus to lubricate the vagina. This gland is similar to Cowper's glands of males. Skene's gland is located on the anterior wall of vagina and around the urethra. It also secretes a lubricating fluid to lubricate the vagina. This gland is homologous or similar to the prostate gland of the male. Mammary glands or the modified sweat glands, this you can see in both males and females. But it is rudimentary in males, that is small and non-functional in males and functional in females. It is located in the thoracic region and consists of secretory glandular tissues, variable amount of fat, a nipple in the middle. The nipple is surrounded by a pigmented area called areola consisting of areolar glands called sebaceous glands. If we take the structure of the mammary gland, each mammary gland consists of 2 to 25 lobes or compartments. These lobes are separated from one another by fat and connective tissues. If we take one lobe, it is again divided into number of lobules containing acini or alveoli lined by epithelial cells that secrete milk. The small tubule arising from each lobule are called as mammary tubules. Now, the mammary tubules of each lobe joins to form a mammary duct. Now, the mammary ducts of each lobe joins to form a wider mammary ampulla or latiferous sinus, which is connected with the latiferous tubule, which opens separately by a minute pore on the surface of the nipple. In this class, we have discussed about the parts of the female reproductive system, the structure of the ovary, the various parts of the fallopian tube, the structure of the uterus, and the various glands of the female reproductive system. Meet you in the next class with another topic.